postseason. The team celebrated being crowned the #1 seed in the Super Region 4. Team buses returned to Nicholson Pavilion Sunday at 6 in the morning after an 11-hour bus ride home from Arcata, California. CW football brought home the GNAC Championship trophy after defeating Humboldt State for Central's first outright title since 2009. Ian Shoemaker sends the Wildcats to the playoffs in just his 4th season in Ellensburg. Coach Shue wants the team to focus on the playoffs, much like they did in the regular season, focusing on each game with a 1-0 mentality. But he and the rest of the coaching staff know from this point on, it's win or go home.
Well, it's just, hopefully you don't make it a big difference, but the pressure is greater, the travel is greater a lot of times, although we've challenged that this year. But, we think that, if we do our process and take care of business, we can be prepared to win.
Thanks to their regional 1 seed status, the Wildcats get a bye week. Central's opponent will be decided this weekend for the winner of Winona State and Texas A&M Commerce. That matchup again, of course, is set for this weekend. The Wildcats head back to Tomlinson Field November 25th. Now that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. General admission tickets are on sale now, but get them quick while they last.
Summa, we appreciate the time and we look forward to seeing you later on in the show.
I look forward to that too. Thank you, guys.
Can you believe that the CW football team is undefeated this year?
It's crazy to me how well they've been able to keep together through all the ups and downs and just still undefeated.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to do that is such an amazing accomplishment, and we look forward to the playoffs.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. The actors of the 12... Don't you start! The actors of the 12 Angry Men and Women play dove deep into their courtroom roles this past weekend at Ellensburg High School.
And senior ROTC cadets stand at attention to honor prisoners of war and soldiers missing in action. Next.
Central News Watch, television news and sports for Ellensburg and all of Kittitas County.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks. Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Cold air, warm coffee, and community pride brought the people of Ellensburg together this last weekend for the Veterans Day Parade.
Members of the community joined veterans and cadets in celebrating our current and fallen military heroes.
Veterans in the Ellensburg community this past
Veterans
Saturday
on the
shared in
Ellensburg
their footsteps as the veterans, cadets, and the community marched together in pride and home. David Heath, a retired Coast Guard avionics man, joined the community in the celebration.
This community is just awesome. The way they come out for this and other things during the year. It's some days, you can walk down in the parade and sometimes I just almost start tearing up. It's because I'm so proud of this community.
While Veterans Day may be behind us, the memories of the fallen live on. While some of the CW Air Force cadets were in the parade itself, 12 seniors showed their respect just a few blocks away.
While Ellensburg celebrated Veterans Day in a parade downtown, senior ROTC cadets held a 24-hour vigil outside of McConnell Hall to pay tribute to prisoners of war and soldiers who have gone missing in action. 12 cadets participated in the 24-hour vigil, camped out in 2 tents as they took turns standing at attention and talking to students about their message.
Veterans and the Ellensburg community this past Saturday shared in their footsteps as the veterans.
The message is basically raising awareness about prisoners of war and those that are missing in action. There are hundreds every year that we lose and that we don't always know where they're at. We want everyone to know that we're still always thinking about them and we're always making sure that they're not forgotten. That's what the table represents.
The table is set for one to represent the soldier that can always return. It's adorned with lemons and salt and a set of silverware in a wine glass, a lit candle, and a rose. Representatives from both the Air Force and Army ROTCs also marched in the Veterans Day Parade downtown.
Originally a TV drama, 12 Angry Men and Women is a play which jurors decide on the fate of a homicide case. The Ellensburg High School Drama Club put on a play version of the classic show last weekend.
This isn't a game! No, wait a minute! This is a man's life! Who do you think you are?
The story of 12 Angry Men and Women highlights the importance of being open-minded with a relevant twist.
Well, the unique part about this is seeing it from 2 different sides, from a male point of view and a female point of view, using the same script, but basically just seeing it differently through different genders' eyes.
If you want to admit that you're a liar, that's okay by me.
12 Angry Men and Women has different ways of keeping the audience tuned in than your average play.
There's no set changes, so it's very different in that you have to be unique and make it not boring.
Action! A liar is a liar, and that's all there is to it. And you're a dingus.
The chemistry the cast displays is more than just acting. It comes from their group theater experience.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight-knit group. I think we get along pretty well. But.
The set of the play takes inspiration from the Kittitas Courthouse. The set designers visited the courthouse to create a believable environment. Yeah. Well, have you ever seen the original movie?
No, I haven't. But those kids acted it out great. You know, I think it's something in the water here in Ellensburg. Must be.
Yeah, it was honestly really good.
Mm-hmm. Coming up on Central News Watch.
The production Good Kids took the stage at Central to shed light on rape culture in today's society.
The ceremonial first serve, we pay tribute to 2 Wildcat seniors next.
So let's make sure we want
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Central News Watch. While the football team handled business taking home some overdue hardware, it was a busy Saturday inside Nicholson Pavilion.
It was senior night for volleyball, and also the women's basketball team hosted Hawaii Pacific. Soma Lambert joins us once again. Soma, such an exciting weekend for CW sports. But while the football team continues on the path for a national title, what are our other sports teams looking like?
Well, for starters for us, it was senior night for volleyball on Saturday. The team swept Montana State Billings en route to their 19th victory of the year. The only 2 seniors on the team are Sarah Joffs and Sabrina Wheelhouse, who combined for a total 15 kills and 6 blocks Saturday. Joffs in her senior year has collected 187 points, with 130 of them as kills, while on the other side of the net has a solid 100 blocks. Wheelhouse has been having a great year also, with 298 points and 195 of them being kills as well. She leads the team in the conference with 155 blocks. These seniors will compete at Simon Fraser this Thursday, and then they have a huge matchup against Western Washington Saturday, then off to the NCAA regionals at the end of the month if all goes well. And after the volleyball game was over, the women's basketball team took the court for the start of their season. It was their home opener this weekend, or this past weekend, excuse me, as they took down Cal State Los Angeles, but fell short in the last minutes against Hawaii Pacific. Sadie Mensing led the Wildcats Saturday with 18 points, while senior Jasmine Edwards helped her out with a total 8 assists and 12 points of her own. The team heads out to Colorado for another weekend series to face Colorado School of Mines Friday and then to Metro State Saturday. First-year head coach Randy Richardson Thornley also picked up her first win as a collegiate head coach on Friday. The Wildcats start conference play against Alaska Anchorage after Thanksgiving break.
Soma, the season is just getting started for both men and women's basketball. But in light of the football team and what they've done, what's the deal with the volleyball? And where are they headed?
Well, you're absolutely right, Will. I mean, in light of what football has been doing, we're kind of not paying attention quite to the fact that volleyball is right on the cusp of making their own run at the postseason. Last year, they squeaked in as a 7 seed. This year, they're kind of in that same boat. They lost a real tough one to Northwest Nazarene this past Tuesday. They lost in 5 sets to a team, a Nazarene, that is 2 right now in the conference. The big dog is Western Washington. That's the matchup that we're going to need to put forward a good performance with if we need more votes to get in to that super regional. If all things go right and we put forth a good performance against Western Washington, I think Central can squeak in again as maybe a 6 or a 7 seed.
Thank you, Soma. And
I think it's really awesome that CW Sports has really just raised themselves on the bar. We have football undefeated in the playoffs. Volleyball's right there, about to get in, and I'm excited.
Yeah, lots of slam dunks, lots of spikes. It's a good year to be a Wildcat.
Yes, it is. Well, next up, we sit down with some kids that could aspire to take our jobs someday.
What does that mean?
I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
At Central Newswatch, we get an opportunity to learn how to research, write, and present the news. Today, we have a group of 7th graders who are doing the same. These students are from Wahluke Jr. High in Mattawa, Washington. They are part of an English language arts program taught by Sharae Burnham. They are here in our studio today to learn about how television works and to give them a better idea of how to prepare for their final project, a newscast they will have researched, written, and presented. Ms. Burnham, why have your students put together a television newscast?
I started with this idea because I was hoping to create something that would allow them to be interested in the research that they're doing. So most of the time, writing tends to be a struggle for kids. And if you set down in front of them what they're forced to write, you're not going to get the best product. But with the newscast, there are 4 different topics that I have them working on. world and local, weather and sports. And in each of those categories, they can find stories of interest that they want to research, and then they're willing to write about. They're interested in editing it because they want it to flow correctly when they put it into a script, and then work with their group in order to perform it. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. They're inspired, they're interested, and being here has just allowed even more dimensions to that project. So
good. So 2 of the budding news reporters are Amparo and Ishmael. What stories have you guys researched and written about, and why?
Well, I have researched homeless kids because I want to learn more about why they leave them on the streets and how.
Yeah.
I've researched sports, like what kind of things they do, how do you learn how to play sports, and yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me about the Air Jordan story you did.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite so far?
No, it's just like it's kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
I was just talking about like why they made shoes after him.
Oh,
because
okay.
he was like really good. He practiced a lot, and he became a really good player.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about sports, so maybe I'll have to watch your report. So you guys have had a tour and watched our newscast. What have you learned about television news that you guys didn't know before?
I've learned like what to search up, like what things you type in.
Oh yeah.
And like websites you can look to find information about sports.
Okay.
I learned that I didn't know that they used control panels and all that to work the screen and all that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It's pretty cool. So, do you guys feel you're a better writer now after doing this program?
Yes, because I didn't know a whole lot of news and why they did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel more better at being a writer because like before I never knew how to edit my own papers.
Right.
Yeah, now I have learned much more about how to edit and how to write.
Good. So how important is it to research a story? I mean, like, couldn't you just make stuff up and throw it on there?
No, because it has to be real news that people do or have done in the past.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because like people don't want to hear made up stuff. They want to hear things that actually happened. That's why it's called world news and local news.
That sounds pretty spot on. Miss Burnham, you're doing a great job teaching them.
They're easy.
Yeah. So, do you guys think you'd like to pursue a career in broadcasting? Like, is this something you guys want to get a job in when you're older?
Yes, it's pretty interesting how people work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe because it seems really fun on how to search up stuff. It's really exciting.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's fun how you can choose what you're interested in and kind of learn more about it as you tell your audience about it. Yeah. Miss Burnham, what's been your biggest struggle teaching? Like what's been the hardest teaching them
about newscasts?
Yeah.
Getting them to see how it all comes together.
Right.
Right, because I've never been behind the scenes. This is my first time. So watching the news has a whole different element to it than putting it together. So trying to break that down for them, and we've been watching different news clips. You know, what do they do here? How do they transition there? What are they reporting on? Why are they reporting on that? Probably just being able to give them a picture of how the whole thing is put together so that they know what their purpose is in their project. And I think we've done a good job so far, but this field trip for sure has put a whole nother element to that. So I think when they go back, they'll have some more ideas how to put their show together.
Nice. So, thank you, Miss Burnham, and all the rest of you. Maybe in a few years you'll be conducting the interview or anchoring newscast, but we wish you guys all the best of luck. So we have a tease that kind of just promotes the next story to our segment. Would you guys maybe want to read the tease right at this camera?
Have the two kids read the Coming up next on Central News Watch.
Central puts on the production Good Kids.
Nice. Good job, you guys. We went on a break.
Hey, Harv, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Good.
Homemade noodles. Oh. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It reminds me, I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one. It's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes in your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think, then? Arm or the butt?
On Wednesday night, CW Theater Ensemble put on the show Good Kids. In a high school setting, the production brings to light a sexual encounter gone wrong. Becoming public in social media, playwright Naomi Lizuka tackles rape culture in current generations. Alana Nzunza joined the cast to hear about the struggles the cast faced putting on the production.
There's a story that people tell about you.
Then there's the story you tell about yourself.
The person they are talking about is Chloe after something horrible happens to her during a high school party. Everyone thinks they know the truth as rumors spread. Isaac Pauls, a junior at Central, plays Ty, one of the sexual assailants. He found out how hard it is to bring such a character to life.
Personally, at least, it's tough to play such a character that commits such heinous and abhorrent acts throughout.
Assault is a topic many people shy away from. Often people don't realize anyone can be an abuser. The play wants to bring attention that an abuser does not have to look like a criminal. And what you wear won't prevent these situations.
What theater is meant for, to be able to bring in controversial topics and bring them to light so that way we can have conversations about them and comment on them, not necessarily give answers, but
in some cases, social media is pictured as the bad guy. A cast member of Good Kids thinks social media played a role in bringing justice to the victim. From the Milo Smith Tower Theater, Alana Nzunza, Central News Watch.
Thank you, Alana. If you want to catch the production of Good Kids, the play will run till November 19th. You know, I just want to give a big shout out to the kids and the teacher for coming in and speaking with us today in the interviews in the studios. I got a chance to actually work with the students earlier when they arrived before the show, and I can tell you it was a really memorable experience.
Yeah, you did. Actually, he came back and he was so happy. And he was just like, I just got to spend, 10 minutes with all these kids and they were awesome, absorbing information and doing all that good stuff. That wraps up this edition of Central News Watch. Make sure to join us for our last newscast of the quarter next week.
And make sure to follow us on Facebook at CW Newswatch for additional information from today's newscast.
From all of us here at CNW, good night.
Good night.